Welcome to Art for Justice in Conversation. I am Mahogany L. Browne, writer and curator. We are a community of artists, advocates, and allied donors disrupting mass incarceration. In this series, I'll interview artists creating a true justice system which keeps families together and treats people with dignity and compassion.
One of the most, timeless questions in which she asks, if jails and prisons are to be abolished, then what will replace them?
Focusing on immigration detention spaces, for example. Well, what is abolished? Well, I mean, I believe in abolition, and in immigration detention spaces, for example, abolishing means giving people due process, the right to due process, and the right to seek asylum and seek protection in countries that are historically knitted in their own histories and that have a historical responsibility toward them. It is such an enormous system, right? It's like it's got like arms and legs everywhere. It's an ecology. It's like we live surrounded by spaces of incarceration, and they make so much money from those spaces that it doesn't seem one doesn't know where to start. In neither as a writer, and I'm sure, I mean, journalists, I agree, they're doing always in crises the most important work because they're the ones right there observing. This map was created by a group called XP Methods. This is volume 2 of their work. This is just congressional appropriations and how the money travels from our taxpayers to congressional appropriation movements and then to local governments and then the companies that are benefiting from. So this is just, for example, ICE money received in 2014. Montana was this amount, and the biggest profiteer is A to Z Supply. So you can actually track down where the money is going. Nova Solutions, they didn't receive that much. Texas, this is a big one, 550 million. ICE, the biggest profiteer is in Genesis. This is Raul Grijalva. That's 25K. It's a smaller projects like this that do critical cartographies and data visualization may help us at least understand the dimensions and where then we can channel our energy. I can teach writing. I can give others that tool. So if I can go into immigration detention spaces for kids and give them that tool, that generation of now kids will eventually be adults, and those adults will be able to write the story of their diaspora and also denounce the situations in which they were living when none of us knew exactly what was going on inside the immigration detention spaces for kids under Trump, for example. Moreover, I mean, I believe that the nation state as a model is completely obsolete, so that we have to start reimagining the way we think of borders. And imprisoning people for migrating without documents, imprisoning them while they seek asylum, is completely nonsensical. As prison, and that's why I said it's the easy way out. I think prison is even a harder question because there's probably more social pushback towards the idea of complete abolitionism. Or no?
I like what you said about we have to reimagine the nation state, because I mean, it's a tricky question to talk about what happens if we abolish prisons, because we can't abolish prisons without abolishing the other systems which support the prisons. Right. So, I mean, if you were just telling me, well, what do we put in place of prisons? Maybe like some kind of holistic, center where people can get all of the kind of, mental health, the economic, the educational resources they need. But those kind of places exist, but as long as systemic racism and classism and all of those things exist, then that's why we need those things in the first place. So we would really have to probably back it all the way up and say, we need some kind of revolution, I mean, not we need some kind of we need a revolution. Is really the only way that we could possibly abolish prisons.
What I love is the holistic approach. So what if we just changed it all, turn it on its head and say, we will give you millions of dollars if you can rehabilitate holistically. You know what I mean? You will get the same amount of money if you don't treat people inhumanely. What would that be like? That's my imagination going wild.